pectoral organs. Okay, so we may make an incision here, and then on the other side, and then we. Okay, so as much as possible, we do not want to cut the bone, right? So we separate the bone, and then we remove the leg. Then we do the same thing here. Okay, we man. Okay, now the wings.
Master Chef.
Nagawa tayo ng chicken lollipop. Okay, so this is now the breast muscle, the pecho. Okay, so we make an incision here. The scientific. Right, so we try to open here. So try making sure that we do not damage the internal organs. Okay, we go like this. And we go sideways. It is best that you insert your finger here, alright, so that you can push the internal organs while you cut the muscle. Okay, so we almost cut the liver. You may use a sharp knife, but since we wanted to prevent damaging the internal organs, we're using the scissors. Okay, so we cut across the ribs, and then from here, see, you can see the liver and the digestive tract there, and there's a pericardium, so you may have to separate this gently. Okay, like that. And then we do the other side.
Hello. Hello.
Alright. Okay, so we're doing it gently because we do not want to cut major blood vessels. But of course, there will come a time when we have no other choice. Okay, when we reach this part, we have to make sure that we do not damage the crop. There's the crop. Okay. So So if we trace here, we remove some more muscles. Yeah. Alright. So we have to show, alright, ay muscle yan. Here is the crop. Can you see this one? So we'll try to trace this up the mouth, the pharynx. Okay, so after cutting through here, alright, we can see the crop there, but if we trace upward, this is the trachea. Okay. This is the trachea, and at here we remove some more muscles. Then let us cut through the pectoral girdle. Okay. So the trachea, at this level, it forks into the bronchi, bronchi, and in birds this is called the syrinx. Okay, the syrinx. Yeah, and then this now leads into the lungs. Okay, let's trace the lung here. Right. All right. So those are the lungs, the pink one here. The lungs. Okay. So from up here we trace the trachea into the syrinx, where it forks into the bronchi, going into the lungs. Okay. Now we trace. Okay, so from the mouth here, all right, is the beak, and you can see the tongue here, which is not as soft as what we have seen in the frog. Okay. Now this is the opening in the frog. We saw two openings of the nostrils into the internal nares, but here there is only one. And then these are the palatine folds. Okay, the palatine folds. And so if we pass an object here, we can see that it goes into the esophagus. Okay, so from the esophagus, we follow it into the crop. So grain-eating birds have a crop where the grains are moistened and softened before it proceeds to the proventriculus. Okay, the esophagus is very long up to here, and then you have the proventriculus, and then this leads us to the gizzard, the balloon-balloonan. This is the stomach proper of the chicken. Okay, the stomach, and then from here we move on to the intestine. Alright, the intestine does not go out there, it goes out here. So at the junction of the proventriculus with the gizzard, it turns right, wherever. Okay, and then you can see the pancreas there. It's always beside the duodenum. And then you can see a very long intestine, right? Yeah. All right, so that's the long intestine. And then you have this should be the large intestine already, because this is going to the cloaca. Okay, can you see? Can you trace it here? here, and then it goes out there. Okay, you can still see some pieces. Okay, the large intestine. Okay, and then we look at the digestive glands. Okay, you can see the liver, and then look at the green gallbladder. Okay, the gallbladder here, and then we'll include the spleen, although we have discussed previously that it has no digestive function. Okay, this is the spleen. Okay, so from there you can also see here the kidneys. Okay, the lungs here are pinkish in color and it's lobular, but this one is the brownish kidney. Okay, okay, so going here into the small intestine, we can see that, okay, we're following the, this is the small intestine. Okay, and at the junction of the small intestine, this one, and the large intestine, the colon, okay, you can see that you have a pair of, okay, ceca, okay, ileocolic ceca. Yeah, you see, this does not end anywhere. It's up to here only. All right. So the intestine again is here, and then it joins the large intestine there, and at the junction, okay, that's why it is called the ileum, the small intestine, colic, the colon, the large intestine, ceca, okay, the ileocolic ceca. Okay. We take note of the heart. Okay, so in the heart, this is also covered with the pericardium. Okay, so we cut the pericardium to expose the heart. Okay, all right. So this is the ventricle, but unlike in the frog, there are now 4 chambers in the heart, and if you try to feel here, this is less muscular than the one on the left. Okay, because the blood will flow from the right atrium to the right ventricle to the lungs, just like in the frog, and then to the heart and to the left. Okay, and the left is more muscular because it is the one that pumps blood to all parts of the body. Okay, so let's try to remove some of this part. When you remove the fat, never use a scalpel. You don't want to have several chambers of the heart. Okay. Anyway, if we lift this, alright, the sinus venosus seem to be filled with blood. There is blood here because we had to cut through the neck. And as it suffered, there is a problem with the blood coagulating in the sinus venosus. Okay, the atrium, and then here we can see the conus arteriosus. You can see the crop, okay, and so as we mentioned, this is where the grains are moistened and softened. Okay, so this is part of the esophagus, and this is the trachea. At the level of the heart, again, it forks into the bronchi, and this is the syrinx. Okay, the syrinx. Alright. So if we trace again the reproductive tract, There, okay. Alright, so you can see on this side you have a pair, no? One on the other side and one here. This is the testis in the male. Okay, the testis. Alright, okay. So in this very young female chicken, you can see that the ovary is not fully developed. There should be some round yellowish structures here, the young eggs, but since this is still very young, so this is not well developed. Okay, and then from here we can trace. Okay, so if the eggs develop here, it flows down the oviduct. Okay, in the birds, there is only one oviduct, and that's the left. The right is not present anymore. Right? So the ovary here, and then the oviduct, and then we can trace that leading into the cloaca. Okay? So the cloaca is common, as we can see here, for the digestive tract. This is the part of the large intestine, the reproductive, okay, the oviduct here, and these are the kidneys, so they also empty into the cloaca.